Hello, listeners. This is Tom Bernard, author of The Index of America. You are listening to Vroom, Vroom, Veer with Jeff Smith, reminding you that you can create financial independence.
Yeah, just like that. See?
Yeah,
exciting, dynamic. Yeah. And you're not Alice Cooper, and you're not on K-Rock.
Feel free to edit it out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Come on. I wrote a book about the S&P 500. You got to manage your expectations. I'm not biting heads off of bats or anything.
That's true. All right. Stand by. Let me hit stop. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Are you ready to thoughtfully steer away from your revved up, frenzied, and far too often scripted life? Then welcome to Vroom Vroom Veer with Jeff Smith, where he guides you down the road differently traveled by sharing unique experiences with guests who have managed to shift away from a life stuck on cruise control and veered their way into a more authentic and fulfilling one in all sorts of interesting and kind of remarkable ways. Get ready to Vroom Vroom Veer with your differently traveled road chauffeur, Jeff Smith.
Tom Cladis. Thank you so much for being on Vroom Vroom Veer, and welcome to the show. How's it going?
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
So you are the author of The Age of Serpents and Scorpions. Your website is tomcladiswrites.com. So talk a little bit about what you're most excited about in your business today.
The most exciting thing in my business right now is my book, The Age of Serpents and Scorpions.
Congratulations.
I'm realizing a dream.
Yeah.
It's a dream come true to be a published author. The book is it's a fiction. It's a coming of age fantasy about two Colorado teenagers who meet this enigmatic fortune teller who challenges them to see the world not as it is, but as it should be.
Oh, wow.
That leads them on an epic adventure through time, through parallel universes, and to confront to an ultimate confrontation between good and evil and the resolution of that confrontation.
Sounds like fun.
It's been, and I've been humbled because it's been very favorably compared to C.S. Lewis's Narnia tales.
Oh, wow. That's good company.
It is. There's deep themes of philosophy, faith, and human nature weaved within a very engaging story.
Right.
C.S. used animals as his supporting cast. My supporting cast are historical figures like Doc Holliday, Don Quixote,
all right.
Captain Kirk.
That's great.
It's really fun. It's really fun. People who started it say they can't put it down. And it's ultimately it's about choices people make and how the choices come to define them.
That sounds like fun. Now I kind of,
it is fun.
It gives me this is a question. So vibe wise, did you go for any sort of what's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy sort of humorish?
It is. There's a lot of genres in there. There's humor, there's romance, there's suspense.
That's good.
And it's it's in the young adult genre, but
right.
Jeff, the biggest audience for young adult genre are adults.
Sure.
Because adults get bogged down with the day-to-day living and the constraints of adulthood.
Sure.
And it's an escape to a simpler time when they were teenagers, and you're exploring and you're open to possibilities, and you're invincible. And that's a fun time to be in. So it's an escape. It's an escape from the realities of adulthood. And so people really like it.
Yeah. Well, great. Congratulations, by the way, because I know
Thank you.
It's a huge undertaking and it can humble you.
Yeah, for sure.
So congratulations, if nothing else, for doing it, just doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me 8 years to write.
Okay.
And that's because, I had 3 young daughters. I also had to put a roof over their heads and feed them.
Yeah.
So I had a 8 to 5 job. My writing time was from 4 to 8 in the morning on Saturdays and Sundays.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, so no matter if we went on vacation, I made no excuse for missing that writing time, because once you make one excuse, the next excuses are easier,
Right.
and then
Right.
the book doesn't get written. So
Right. Wow.
yeah, it took 8 years, but it's over that 8 year time, it still remains very timely and almost universal.
Good job. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So you weren't always an author. So let's
No.
go back in time and talk about Tom in high school. So where did you grow up, and what were you like in high school?
I grew up in Denver, born and raised in Denver.
Okay.
I was a sports freak. I played all the sports.
Gotcha.
I did very well in school without really trying. I mean, I have a good memory. I have a
Right.
good capacity to recall things and put things together. So when it came to graduate, I graduated with, this is when they had 4.0 A's. I graduated with a 3.73
Wow.
GPA.
That's pretty good.
And that was good, but not good enough, because during the graduation, you needed a 3.75 to graduate with honors and get these ropes. And
Right.
I didn't know that at the time. I desperately wanted those ropes. So I went to Colorado College. When I went to college, I was focused on getting ropes, and I actually graduated summa cum laude, and I
Wow.
got my ropes. So that's when I started to apply myself.
Yeah.
In college, I majored in, I didn't know what I really wanted to do when I grew up,
Most
but I
people
figured majoring in business, there's a lot of applications for that, and so I majored in business. I kind of minored in English. I recall I was in between classes. I only had 20 minutes to go to lunch, and I sat down in one of the dining halls, and this really attractive girl came and sat down next to me. I was very excited that she had done that. And,
Sure.
And my mind was racing ahead, and she tells me that she's a philosophy student. They're doing a survey on what I want to do for the rest of my life. And it's like, oh. So my hopes were dashed, and but I thought, somehow I want to do something that makes people's lives easier or better.
Okay.
I didn't know how, what that meant, but that was kind of my goal.
Okay.
So graduated college. I became a flight attendant for United Airlines.
Oh, wow.
For 5
Just
years.
right out of college.
It was not
interesting.
Not really the career path that my folks had for a summa cum laude graduate out of Colorado College, but I felt
you know
I
what,
graduated.
though? That's a really fun gig.
Yeah. Jeff, I was right out of college. I had no responsibilities. I had no debts. I didn't have a relationship. It was a great time.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
To be footloose and fancy free.
Right.
I got to I got to travel the world. I've been to all the states, and it was just a great job for 5 years.
Yeah.
And
how did you find it? Did you like the job?
Oh, I loved it. And it was a time, the job now is just not very fun. It's, it's not the way it used to be. We had, back when I was, okay, so this was from I'm going to date myself, but this is from 1978 to 1983.
Okay.
And if your listeners can imagine that, this is before the age of computers,
right?
Internet, cell phones,
there were computers, but only nerds like me knew about it. Yes.
Well, that's right. That's right.
There was no internet. Phones were on the wall, right?
Yeah, on the wall.
Right.
Yeah, and when you'd go places, you'd call collect so people could hear your voice, and then you didn't have to pay for it. But I was writing a lot of letters telling my friends and family where I had been and all the places I was seeing, and then I would embellish them a little bit just for fun. And people really enjoyed receiving my letters. I enjoyed writing them. I entered a writing contest. Well, I was based in Cleveland. I entered a writing contest from a local magazine, and I won.
Wow.
It was called it was called Everything You Wanted to Know About Flying But Were Afraid to Ask.
Oh,
And
wow.
then it's just like, okay, I really like this. So 4 years after I graduated from college, I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
That's when you figured out you wanted to be a writer?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
But, it was a circuitous path. I stopped flying when I got married.
Okay.
It was not a good way to start out a relationship,
Right.
To being gone all the time. And so, I had met someone in Denver who had his own investment firm, and we had a nice chat at a tennis match. And he said, "If you ever stop flying, give me a call." And that was 2 years before. And so I called him and I said, "This is Tom Cladis. I don't know if you remember." He says, "Tom, I remember you. Come on down."
Oh, wow.
And so he hired me on the spot, and
Wow.
that's how I got into the investment business. And then,
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah. So then you start. You get married. You acquire some bills. You got to pay at the time, rent, and then eventually mortgage, and your freedom to do things
you put yourself in a box, basically.
Yes, you have put yourself in a box.
Right.
But I never gave up on the dream, and I kept writing. I write a daily financial newsletter, and my first book was called "How to Lift Cars Off Your Face and Other Tips for Living Forever."
That sounds interesting. So what was that about?
Yeah, it's a nonfiction book.
I like the title.
Yeah. Well, the title comes from, I read a newspaper article. I was riding the bus to work, and this is, again, back when we had newspapers instead of online stuff, but about this kid up in Hortonville, Wisconsin. His name was Lance Myers, and he, 18-year-old kid, kind of a scrawny kid. He was described in the article. I mean, not a weightlifter or anything like that, but he was working on his car at his girlfriend's house, and the car fell off the jack and onto his face. There was, with the car on his face, he couldn't really call out for help, and there was no one there anyway. So Lance lifted the car off his face and crawled out, and he just got some superficial cuts around his eyes because his glasses broke. And reporters had heard about this. Yeah, and
is that a true story? Wow,
it's a true story. This is where.
Wow.
And they said, "Lance, how were you able to lift that car?" He said, "Because I didn't want to die." So, Jeff, in choosing to live, he had to simultaneously reject the notion in his mind that he couldn't lift a car. Right. So when he was freed of that barrier, he lifted the car and got out. So
you know exactly what that is, though, right? That's the beginning of that old TV show about the Incredible Hulk.
Well, there you go.
That's what happened. The beginning of that show was like, why are there these stories about people who can lift cars when they're angry or upset or think they're going to die, right?
Yeah.
And so the doctor, right, went and figured out that
Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah.
he did research on people that were in these life and death scenarios that got extra strong, right? And then it turns into superhero bullshit after that.
Well, I thought about all the barriers that we put in our minds because I can't do that. I can't lift a car. I can't talk in the public. I can't do this. I can't do that. And you put these barriers in your mind.
Yeah.
But when you get rid of those barriers, there's nothing that you can't do. So how to lift cars off your face and other tips for living forever. Okay. The living forever part. That gets a little bit theological.
Sure.
And, you ask any theologian, when God created, we're talking about creation now, but when God created the universe, he created Adam and Eve to live forever.
Oh,
and so for a supreme being who could do anything, well, if he wanted to create kids to live forever, then he could do it, and he did. But they disobeyed him; they lost paradise, and blah blah blah.
Right.
So, but it occurred to me that God didn't change. He's still creating his children to live forever. We just don't think it's possible. So we put this. We think death is inevitable. So we put this thought in our mind. It's a barrier. And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the book is about removing all barriers, including death, from our minds, and then that's how you would live forever. Now I know it's very theoretical, but death is the ultimate. But if lesser bears, like lifting a car or getting a good grade on a test, I'm not good at this. Every time you put those barriers in your mind, you just make it happen.
True.
Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Yeah. So anyway, that's where the title came from. That's what the book is about.
I like it. I like it. So how long did you do the investing gig or the financial advisor gig?
Oh, I'm still in it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Okay. I know. No, so it's been 43 years.
Okay.
43 years.
Okay.
And
good for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I raised
pays the bills.
I raised a family, 3 daughters, and
you can't hate it because you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, no, I enjoy what I do. It's true, but I'm getting to an age now where it's just like, I've done this for 43 years. It might be time to look at different options, things that I really, really want to do.
Right.
So,
write a book.
And exactly. And maybe
many books.
Maybe use it as a segue to become a full-time writer for the next 43 years.
That would be great. See, why not? So
why not?
You put this thing in the email about what is it? Wrestling crocodiles?
Alligators.
Alligators. My bad. Yeah, who would ever wrestle a crocodile? That's crazy. Yeah. But alligators, sure, no problem.
So throughout my whole life, I've really enjoyed pushing the envelope.
Okay.
And my friends know I skydive, I jump off cliffs.
Wow.
I jump out of hot air balloons.
Right.
I do crazy things. I go on crazy jumps on motorcycles, not Evel Knievel type, but things that I did that my friends would not do.
Okay.
And so they called me one day and said, well, why don't you wrestle alligators? And I thought, well, I'm in Colorado. I really don't want to make a separate
who
trip.
Who is this they?
Yeah, I don't want
Your
to make
friends?
Yeah, my friends. Yeah, they're always pushing me. Like, let's see if Tom. It's like that old commercial. Mikey will eat it. Let's see if Mikey eats it.
Right.
Let's see if Tom will do this.
Right. Okay.
So they heard about this alligator.
So you are a
wrestling
daredevil,
gig
basically. Yes.
Yeah. They heard about this alligator wrestling gig in Colorado. And it's about 4 hours south of Denver. There's but by the Great Sand Dunes, there's an alligator farm down there. And my family happily was vacationing, so I didn't have to ask permission. And I didn't tell them what I was going to do. And I went down and I got trained on wrestling in alligators. They trained me for about an hour, and then they put me in the swamp full of alligators. And
wow,
I said, I just walk in there. They said, yeah, but be very quiet. It's like, oh, okay. So you walk in there, you grab them by the tail.
All right.
And, the tail is very scaly. It's not slimy. I mean, you can get a firm grip. And they said, whatever you do, don't let go, because they can't pivot around. They can try, but they can't go all the way around. So if they pivot left, you go right. If they pivot right, you go left.
Okay.
And so that's how you do it. And eventually they get bored, apparently, but that's what happened. So then you drag them out of the swamp. In one motion, you throw their tail between your legs, jump on their back, grab their jaw, and pull them back like that. They're powerless. They're not very strong. The strongest muscle they have is that jaw that clamp down on you.
Right.
But when you have them back like that, they can't do anything.
Wow.
And so I got trained with 3 other people, and I was the one that went first. And the alligator I grabbed was pretty salty. He really tried to turn around and get me, but he was so salty that that scared the others off. They didn't want to go through and wrestle the alligators. So the people down there who had the farm, they said, that they have, because it was a show, they had spectators come and watch, and they said, would you mind wrestling a few more? And it's like, no, I'll do it. So I wrestled a total of 7 alligators. I have
Is there video?
All my
no video.
What's that?
There's no video.
No video.
Oh,
no.
What a bummer.
I just have one picture, one snapshot.
Okay.
But anyway, I have all 10 fingers and
all your toes.
So that's how I know
hands.
and so that's how I know I passed. And I thought, when I was thinking about doing it, you remember the football coach Paul Bear Bryant? He got his nickname Wrestling a Bear. And I thought, all right, wrestling bears has been done. I'll wrestle an alligator.
Why not?
Why not? So that was fun. And I thought, if I'm ever on a podcast talking about, anything, it'd be a good talking point. And look at that, 20 years later.
Totally. You didn't know there was going to be a thing called podcasts.
Who knew? Exactly. Who knew? Especially me. So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
And
I want more of these stories because this is fun. So I've never done skydiving, but it looks fun. But what I've noticed what I've noticed, and I'm just saying this because already, but maybe others out there don't. But when you hit the ground and you start walking around, you've never felt more alive.
Oh, so true. It's so true. That's the thing about Dancing with Death. If you survive, it's just like,
wow,
rush,
everything's got more color.
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. I'll tell you, the first time I went, if we have time, sure. I was a flight attendant. When I was a flight attendant, I don't know if you ever saw the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh man, that's an old one. It
starts out where James Bond. Yes, well, I'm old too.
Okay, is that Sean Connery?
It was Sean Connery.
Right. Okay.
No. I take it back. It was Roger Moore.
Okay.
So he's skiing. He's being chased by the bad guys on a ski in Switzerland or somewhere.
Okay.
And they're on skis and they're chasing him. They're shooting all him.
Yeah.
He comes to this cliff. He jumps off the cliff. He sheds his skis. He's got a parachute on his back. He parachutes down. He gets out of his jumpsuit. He's got a tuxedo on, and he goes into a big ballroom and stuff.
Course.
And so the person who filmed that stunt had his own skydiving school in Oakland, California.
Oh wow!
And he was on my plane, and he said, "Tom, I'll teach you how to skydive." I said, "Oh my God, I would love it." So
that's awesome.
I had on my next
you couldn't find a better teacher.
Oh no! So on my next, I had 4 days off coming up, and my mom was expecting me to come home, and I called her. I said, "Mom, I'm not going to come home. I'm going to go out to Oakland." And she goes, "Well, why are you going out there?" I said, "Well, and I told her the story. I'm going to go skydiving." And she goes, "Tommy, no, you're not." I said, "What?" And I said, "Mom," and she said, "Don't go." And I said, "Mom, I'm 22 years old. You can't tell me what to do anymore.
Right.
I'm going to do it."
Right.
And so we kind of hung up like that. Yeah, exactly. We kind of hung up like that. I'm packing my suitcase, and it's just like, it occurred to me, Jeff, that every time in the past I had done something that my mom told me not to do, something went wrong. And I didn't want to be hurtling to earth. The chute doesn't open or something's wrong, and have my last thought be, I should have listened to Mom. And so I canceled. Oh no. Jeff, I was so pissed off, upset, and it's just like, so. The next opportunity came for me when my wife was 6 months pregnant with our second child.
Okay.
And I made sure not to say anything. I just told her I was leaving for the day. I had a meeting.
Right.
And I went and I got trained on how to jump and how to land, like you say. It wasn't a tandem jump. And so I went up and everything worked out fine. I didn't have any doubt from my mom or my wife. And I came back to the house and my wife said, well, how'd your meeting go? I said, well, okay, I have to be honest with you. I actually went skydiving. And she was like, you what? And I said, look, I'm fine. I don't have a scratch. I didn't want to worry you or put you through it, but it's over. I did it. Jeff, we didn't see eye to eye on that. She was
really big surprise, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was in the doghouse for a couple of days on that.
Right.
But since then, I've gone probably 30 or 35 times. And now it's just like when I tell her I'm going to do something, push the envelope, she said, oh, all right, just, call me when you're done.
Right.
That type of stuff.
Right.
Now she begrudgingly accepts it. Things that I do. I don't know about that, but I didn't tell her about the alligators because I'm sure she would have nixed that idea, and I just didn't want to go through that.
Right. No, tell them after maybe.
Yes, after. Like
otherwise you'll regret it and they'll talk you out of it,
Well, right. And see, that's the thing. When you put that little shred of doubt in your mind,
right?
I mean, that just ruins everything.
The whole thing.
It does, because you, instead of focusing on a positive outcome and whatever you're doing emerging okay, you're worried about
that
something
thought
going wrong.
Could kill you.
Yes, Jeff. And that's what people don't understand.
Right. I get it.
It's just like,
yeah.
I probably shouldn't say this, and you can edit this out if you want to.
Okay.
But I don't wear seatbelts.
Oh no.
And the reason I got pulled over in Colorado. You can't be pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt, but if you're speeding or doing something else, they can.
It's an add-on.
Pull you over, and then exactly. So I got pulled over for speeding, and the officer said, "I noticed you're not wearing a seatbelt, and can you tell me why?" And I said, "Do you really want to know?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, it's against my religion." Because I asked him rhetorically, why do people wear seatbelts? Well, they're worried about getting in an accident. I don't want to put that out into the universe that I'm going to get into an accident. So, so that's why I don't wear seatbelts. And he kind of shook his head and smirked a little bit, said, and he didn't even give me a ticket. He said, just slow down. So far, so good.
I think he didn't give you a ticket because that was a very creative answer, and also true. He's probably
honest. He's probably heard all those.
All sorts of horseshit.
And said, "Guess what I heard today."
Yeah, right. I don't want to put that out in the universe. That's great.
Yeah.
So my wife and I were having this discussion.
These things I do, I still do. Yeah. Everywhere I go now, I do handstands. That's nice. Kind of my, that's kind of my signature thing. Like Kilroy was here, I'd done it at the Eiffel Tower,
wow, nice. Wherever you
just
go,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Wherever I go,
any photo opportunity. Here's Tom on his hands.
See, Jeff, you're getting to know me pretty well. So my daughter Cassie and I were in Salzburg, and we at the top of Salzburg, at the top of the hill, there's this huge castle. Yeah, and there was a castle wall, and I said, Cassie, I'm going to do a handstand, and she said, I need you to take this picture. She says, Dad, don't. I'm not going to take the picture. It's like, Cass, it was about a 200-foot drop, but I was supremely confident that I knew I could do it. And we argued for about, 15 or 20 minutes. And finally she knew I wasn't going to give in. She said, fine, give me your camera. So she took the camera. I did the handstand. It was no problem. But she wouldn't talk to me for 2 hours. I said, Cass. Finally, she relented. I said, Cass, I can do this. Dad, she goes, I just didn't know how to say morgue in German. So it's just like, all right. Anyway, so that's just a few of the anecdotes of me pushing the envelopes.
You said you jumped out of a hot air balloon. I didn't even know that was a thing. So
I didn't either.
So how do you, are you parachuting or is it bungee jump?
No, it's a bungee jump. Yeah, it's a bungee jump. And so they took us about 500 feet in the air. And luckily, the bungee cord was only 300 feet, but still, it's very elastic. So you dive out, and you see that ground coming up on you real quick, and then it catapults you right back up.
Right.
Then you're bouncing up and down for a little bit. That's kind of fun, but it's fun to see that ground coming up on you, and hopefully.
Do you get back into the basket? Is that what happens?
No. What they do is they lower the balloon down, and then they let you out that way.
Because that would be a lot of rope climbing after you just did a bungee jump.
A lot of rope climbing, absolutely. So here's another one for my I think it was my 63rd birthday. I rappelled off a 40-story building here in Denver.
Wow!
They were doing. Rappelling is a blast. I really like rappelling, but there was a fundraising thing for Cancer Society, and you raise. I think the minimum was $1,500. I think I raised $15,000.
Wow!
And you just set you out. It's that first step. You have to lean back. You're 40 stories up. You have to lean back.
Right.
And then once you don't fall, then it's pretty easy to let yourself down. But these are the fun things I like to do for fun.
I was let's see, I want to get there without being roundabout. So I was participating in a Century bike ride, not as a rider, but as a massage therapist, because I was in massage therapy school, right? So I was just the school was supporting the charity ride, right?
Okay.
So I was talking to all these riders on the table, right? And they had just rode their bike for 100 miles. And I was, and they had to do what you did, right? They had to fundraise for like better part of a year, and they had to hit their numbers in order to torture themselves and ride their bike for 100 miles. And I was like, I don't get it.
That doesn't add up. Yeah. What kind of new math is that?
No. And one of these riders said, I know it's crazy, right? Yeah. But it's like, you can't do this ride outside one of these charity events.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. It's impossible.
There you go.
You can't. And he's like, so if you want to do a Century ride on Pacific Coast Highway up and down the California coast, this is it. You could do it by yourself. It's not going to work out, but that's the only way to get it done. And I was like, okay. It made it slightly less crazy.
Right.
And he was like, it's an amazing ride. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I know. And like you say, once you do those things, everything is more colorful.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to wrap up with a thing that turned out to be, I did a 25-mile bike ride sort of by mistake. I was just out for a ride, right, on some Wednesday when I didn't have a job. Right. And it was a gorgeous day, and I got to where I usually turn around and go home. And I was like, geez, I wonder what's over there. Right. Because I knew eventually if I stayed on that bike path, right, that I could get to San Diego Pier, right? Not San Diego, Santa Monica Pier in LA. Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I am not anywhere like it takes me like a long time to get to Redondo Beach from my house. Mm-hmm. So that's like just going from my house to Redondo Beach is already a ride. Right.
Yeah.
And then I just kept going. Right. And
let's see what happens if I keep going.
Yeah. So I ended up going all the way to the pier, and I looked at my odometer and it was like 25 miles. And I was like, I got to go home.
Where's the support vehicle to take me home?
So I ended up, I kind of, at that point, it's almost like those 25 miles are like an injury.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
I just rode back to Redondo Beach Pier and caught the bus. I put my bike on the bus. You know, so that was a little bit of relief. So it wasn't an actual 50-mile. It was close though.
But you did it. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I did it. Yeah.
People say that. Well, one of the things I go by, the reward of a job well done is to have done it. You know, now you've got that.
Totally. Yeah.
So good for you. Yeah. You're challenging limits, you know, it's just like,
yeah.
That's the thing. All limits are self-imposed. I don't believe
that's
in
true.
them.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as we wrap up here, so let's talk a little bit about how people can best get in touch with Tom Cladis, author.
Yes. I am on my website is www.tomcladiswrites.com.
Right.
I have my email address is hello@tomcladiswrites.com.
Got it.
And my Instagram is my daughter does my Instagram. It's let's see, what is it? It's Tom C_writes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's how you get in touch with me.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
And the book is available at all the. The book's available online through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore will have it or can order it.
So it's paperback. It's hardcover. No, hardcover.
It's paperback in the U.S. It's hardback in the UK.
Oh wow!
Interestingly enough, with the advent of all these, with Amazon and Goodreads and all the online things, bookstores prefer paperback books over hardcovers because they're not as expensive.
Right.
And so even James Patterson is one of my favorite authors, and I didn't believe that when they told me that. So I went into there's a nice bookstore here called Tattered Cover in Denver, and sure enough, his latest books are in paperback. So
interesting.
Yeah, paperback.
So they're skipping the hardcover now, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I guess maybe when you're James Patterson, you can do hardcover and paperback.
You can do anything you want if you have a lot of money and a huge readership. But when you're just starting out, you got to economize.
When you're just starting out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. Right.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Well, thank you.
You're living life. You're not screwing around. Well, you're screwing around.
And sometimes, I do these things and I tell people afterwards. I always tell people, but maybe not before. Yeah.
Hey, there's a whole genre of YouTubers that are daredevils.
Yeah.
So check out this lady. She's her name is Michelle Carre, and
I'm sorry. What's her last name?
It's Carre. So she's an Indian. So I think it's Khare.
Okay.
If you just get on YouTube, the name of the show is Challenge Accepted.
Oh.
She did this thing. Nice. I can't remember the name of the race. But there's this race that she did, and it's 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. She did that. Yes. Thank you. Good face. That's exactly my face.
Wow.
What? And one of the continents is Antarctica.
Antarctica.
So one of the races is Antarctica. Crazy.
Okay, you've really piqued my curiosity. I got to check that out. That's very cool. That sounds very Tom Cladis to me. It does. And I love it. People challenge limits.
There was a guy, and he did this race 4 times, and he was 80-something. Yes.
Really?
Good face. So
that's
watch
awesome.
the video.
I will for sure. That's so cool, Jeff.
Yeah, that's your thing. Daredevil Tom.
That is my thing, totally. But now it's now all that sense of adventure and that excitement, that's all in the pages of my books. Well, this one, The Age of Serpents and Scorpions, because the two protagonists are Jimmy and Sasha, and what they go through and the things that they do and that they're challenged with. People say it's a long book. It's almost 500 pages, but I just got a text from a woman, a friend of mine, who said, I just picked up your book, and damn you, I can't put it down. So it's a very entertaining read.
Okay, I look forward to it. I might check it out.
Yeah, I hope you do.
All right. Hey, Tom, thanks for hanging out with me for about an hour. Let's wrap this up. Anything else you want to say before we quit?
No, just I want to say buy my book and send me some comments and tell all your friends. It's that commercial. If you tell two friends and they tell two friends and they tell two friends,
and so on,
there
and
you
so
go.
on, and so on.
You won't regret it. Let's put it that way.
Thanks, Tom. Have a good one.
Jeff, thanks, you too.
Thanks for taking the time to ride along with us on another episode of Vroom Vroom Veer. For podcast info and show notes, be sure to head over to vvveer.com. That's VVER.com. Man, that's fun to say. And we'll catch up with you next time here on Vroom Vroom Veer.